When we think about our government, there's lots of things we think about, and for one part, we think about it being always corrupted, but that's not true. I believe America shouldn't pick winners or losers in companies because it causes uh, competition towards companies, and this can create resource problems, and so on, so on. So, yeah, America shouldn't pick winners or losers. They should just let the companies, duke it out, or just you know win customers the right way. But America government should be more involved in the business because if the government is involved in our businesses, then this can help our country as a whole. So one thing is goods and services. So we know that our good is that America's government is doing their good part in funding the public education system, and which is a service us for us Americans. We go from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, and this service is provided by the government. The government wants us to become smarter and wants us to like pick up the mantle, because it all starts with America's youth. If we can educate them, at for free, basically, it could create an advantage for the government or for America and later use, and also the national defense. They spend a lot of money on us for our protection, but it's necessary. They keep us from harm's way. And another reason is that the government can prevent a monopoly. The more involvement the government is in the business, the less likely a monopoly is to rise. And we don't like monopolies because companies like to dominate a sector wherever they are at, and if they dominate that sector, that specific company who which is that company is owned by somebody else, which is higher. It's just like monopoly. They are able to get more resources, better resources actually. They have better connections. They probably have connections with the senators, whatnot. So the government can regulate this. And an example is R.D. Rockefeller. He created the Standard Oil industry, and basically everything at that time needed oil. Like the steamboats, the railroads, all that was essential for oil. And he created a monopoly, and this monopoly heavily affected America. And my last point is, which a lot of people really don't bother to talk about, is is us consumers and our protection. What we are consuming. So there's a company called the FDA. They don't make a lot. They don't make any money, but our government spends a lot of money on them. So you can also consider this a good and service. But their main goal is to test drugs and food, and to see if it's safe for consumption, and to see if that item is good to sell at a market. The government is always taking care of us, even if it's from nukes, air missiles, or from like microbiology. Like little tiny um, stuff that can kill us. If we consume it. And also the EPA. The EPA, which regulates businesses to prevent pollution and to protect us. Many companies work with dangerous chemicals, and if that chemical gets loose into the air, who's there to contain it is the EPA. So, having the government being involved with the American business isn't isn't not is not that bad compared to just the government allowing a business to do whatever it wants, because that can create a monopoly. So whatever America is doing, they should keep on doing it because it's working at the moment. But this is my this is my take on the debate. Thank you for watching. Bye.